Okay, so we've got some people in now. Welcome, everybody. So Jen, we haven't done a webinar together before, have we?
No.
This is our first, and actually our first one for the IASF Global Network as well. So
Awesome.
let's hope it all goes well and the tech works for us. So if I could just ask everybody to please mute your mics for now. We're more than happy to see faces. It's actually quite nice to see faces. But if we can mute mics, and just so you know, it should have notified you, but this is being recorded because lots of people I know can't make it tonight, so they've asked for the recording to be made available to them. So where are we? Okay. So Jen, do you want to we'll start. I know there's a few people still due to attend, but I think if we just start, because they may or may not be able to get in or might be running late and things like that, so they can always jump in later. They'll get access to the recording. So Jen, do you want to introduce yourself and fire away with what we can expect today?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to check that screen share is on the right screen there. Are we starting? Okay, all right, perfect. I think I'd pressed a couple of buttons by accident. Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me, and hello to anyone who is listening on a replay. I do appreciate how valuable your time is, so thank you for that. If I just introduce myself, my name is Genevieve. I am an equine osteopath. I've been an equine osteopath for the best part of 20 years now, and my practice has had me treating horses at all levels of sport in most industries, from top level 5-star show jumpers, working internationally, working with top level race horses, through to pony club ponies, complex vet referrals, and everything in between. So my practice took me all over the world, and a couple of years ago in lockdown, I appraised my business and realized that there was an awful lot of things that needed to change. So I had a look at what tech was available to be able to support my business. I was working sometimes 18-hour days, 5 days a week. Half of my evenings, half of my weekends were full of admin. I had a 6-month wait list. I had an actual PA who used to work in the office. I ran 2 phones. We had a separate diary, and everything was just clunky, disjointed, and wasn't particularly time efficient. So I looked at what was taking up all of the time of my day, and tried to fix it. And so I had to look at the tech that was available, and it was all incredibly complicated. Laughably, I quite openly say I know a lot about bending horses, but very little about technology. I can barely even copy and paste on a keyboard. And all of the tech that was available, you could tell it had been designed by somebody who worked on a computer, who didn't particularly know the equine industry, and even the ones that maybe perhaps did know the equine industry, they didn't know how to, run a very successful business in the equine industry. So I started off creating a system for me because I needed it. And then it all got out of hand, really. And here we are 5 years later with an app that's available in 8, soon to be 11 languages, in 21 countries. It's available worldwide, and we are supporting practitioners in every area of equestrian business. So I appreciate, yes, I'm a osteopath, I'm a body worker, but all of us that work with horses, that run our own business, suffer the same problems. And that is that clients contact you, but they contact you everywhere. They contact you on Facebook, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on email, on text message, on a different email. They'll call you off one number or a different number. So keeping track of client communication, if you don't have the right system in place, can very, very quickly become just a huge drain on your time, flicking between platforms to try and find client communication. Another one was the diary. I used to send manual reminders to people. I used to sit, every weekend and a couple of nights in the week, manually sending out reminders to people, because as a population, we are all utterly reliant upon reminders. if I was to ask any of you who are attending or listening later when your next dentist appointment is, would you be able to tell me? Or when the car MOT is due? And you probably won't, because we are all so reliant upon reminders. And the reality is, if you're not using a system that's using reminders, you're very quickly going to get forgotten, or you're going to fall to the bottom of the pile. So I found manually sending reminders helps to organize the client, and helps you to have an environment to do good work. But it also, yeah, it does help to avoid cancellations and keep your diary kind of running smoothly. But the process of manually sending them can take an awfully long time. So I wanted to integrate the appointment reminders. Record keeping was the next one. Now, I was spending £600 a year on paper and ink, not to mention wasting hours of my life that I'm never going to get back, finding the notes, putting them on a clipboard, filling them in, refiling them afterwards, having to dig them out at a later date because the client maybe needed a report sending for something else, refiling them, all of which was just a massive, massive waste of time. So I wanted to be able to streamline that, but in a way that's actually applicable in real life. So as a mobile practitioner, the idea of busting out a laptop in the middle of the stable yard is completely nonsensical. None of us are going to go, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. So we've created a system that means that you can run an immensely successful business from the phone in your pocket, without signal even. For your record keeping when you're at yards with no signal. I wanted to make this as real world applicable because I know that's what we all need. Like I say, I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and at every stage in my career, I would have benefited from having this system. It would have made me look better. It would have made my day run more efficiently. It would have helped to plug the holes. It would help to avoid being misquoted. It would have helped to get paid more easily. All of these things, I wanted to be able to build into a system to try and help other practitioners. We also have built in invoicing. Now, I don't mean to boast, guys, but if procrastination was an Olympic sport, I 100% would be a Team GB candidate. I'm so good at procrastinating, and I hate invoicing. I used to find anything to do other than invoicing, because I just hated it. And so we've made quick, easy invoicing that you can do as you run through your day. There's a card payment processor built in as well, because I think the bigger your bills, especially with people's cash flow issues, if you can allow people to pay you by card, then that does, help them to cash flow and help them to be more comfortable using you as the right practitioner, because it's an easy yes. It makes it easier for them to pay you. Like I say, when your bills are getting bigger, because your bills should get, your invoices should get slightly bigger every year. You get better at what you do every year, so you should be charging slightly more. But if you are in a position to be able to let your clients pop it on a credit card, earn some air miles, earn some cash back, then that's only going to make them more likely to pay you on time. We've also built in non-payment reminders, so we can all avoid those terribly awkward messages. I used to spend an awful lot of time writing overly diplomatic messages to my clients, chasing in unpaid invoices. Hi, I was just wondering if you put a reference on your last payment because I can't seem to see it. All of this, and we've managed to negate that by building in non-payment reminders. And what else is there? Repeat booking reminders. So again, I used to make a list of people like, oh, would you like a 6-month reminder? And then at the start of every month, I'd sit there, messaging people out. So we've built all of that in as well. We have also just launched a form builder within the app so that you can build a form within the app and automate when it gets sent to your clients. So if you have onboarding forms, vet consent forms, even feedback forms. So at the end of your appointments, you could automate a form to go to your clients for a bit of feedback if you'd want it as well, just to help to chase through, like testimonials, things like that. So we set out to plug these main holes, to centralize your messaging, to make an easy diary that sends automated reminders. record keeping and report sending, all of which are quick and easy and virtually hands-free. You know, you can do that by dictating your notes, by adding voice notes, things like that. Invoicing, card payments, and there's all less relevant for you guys, but I will also mention it. We have given you a resource library where you could, so the physios use this quite a lot. They put exercise videos in their exercise library, so they're able to prescribe exercises over the app as well. So if I just give you a little bit of a look through these slides here, the idea is you are a saddle fitter. You're not an accountant. You're not a filing clerk. You're not a PA. You're not a credit controller. You're a saddle fitter. And this has all been designed to help you spend that bit more time being a saddle fitter and a bit less time on all of the rest of this stuff. Equigate is saving our users on average over 8 hours a week. That's a whole day every week. And the systems and the features that we've built in here have all been designed to try and help you with that. So again, just to cover over these features that we've built in. So this is, you'll see on the right of the screen there, there's that's what the app home screen looks like. I'm going to give you a quick demo in a second as well. So under your clients list, you have, let me see if I can get that out the way. What? How do I hide that? Because it's right. No.
Jen, there's nothing blocking our screens.
Oh, isn't there?
No,
Oh, right.
it's just on your side.
Mine. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, right, good. Glad we cleared that one up. Let's go on to here. So can you see my cursor if I roll that around?
Hang on, I've got a million things on my screen. Yes, I can see that. Yeah, so you might have to just memorize what you've got on your screen if you can't see it.
I've got a really annoying little thing that's just sat in the way. Anyway, so this is the overview of how your app home screen would look. Equigate works on any Apple or Android device. And so essentially you add your clients into your clients list. You can then message any app using clients here. You create them appointments which then show in the diary. And they would then show as upcoming appointments across the top. Any records that you create, so I'll be able to show you the templating in a second as well, would appear here. Any invoices and card payments here. And in your toolkit, this is where you can use the form builder. This is where you customize your report layouts, and that's where you've got your resource library as well. And that's where you can pop your terms and conditions, booking policy, cancellation policy, anything like that. So once you've added your clients to your clients list, this essentially works like a CRM for you. So you've got a really easy to view way to find all of your client contact details. By clicking the profile button, you'll be able to see any of their animals and the records that you've got for them. Oops. There we go. So, and like I mentioned, your record keeping, they all appear under here. So I'll be able to run you through how we can set your records up in just a second. All of your records, you can type any of your notes, you can add videos, you can add photos. We give you all of these anatomy diagrams as standard. And we've also built in there is a document scanner in here, which I'm also going to be able to show you, because that is another option if you wanted to still use paper templates, or we have several practitioners who use a laminated templating sheet, which you just wipe off at the end, but you could lift that as a PDF scanner and scan that in there. Oops. I just click that. So your calendar, this has just had an upgrade. This is an old screen. I'll show you this in a second. Really simple, easy to use calendar. This will sync with external calendars as well, so you can sync that with your Google Cal. And any appointments that you make in your calendar will then show in your client's app as well. Or if they're not app users, then they will go as an email. The app sends automatic appointment reminders 7 days and then again 24 hours before their appointment. This either goes as an in-app notification for app using clients or as an email if they're not app users. And at the end of your appointment, you are able to schedule them to get a reminder to have their next appointment with you. Apple isn't actually live yet, so it is just Google that it syncs with at the moment, but then one of the next updates will also sync with Apple as well. So your invoicing, Invoicing is built in, really quick, easy invoicing. I'll show you this on the demo in just a second. And you can turn them into a PDF, your clients can turn them into a PDF, and your clients, if you choose to set up to receive card payments in the app, it's just a Stripe account. It's a Stripe Connect account that you can set up, and it syncs with your app, and your clients can pay you by card over the app, and it would auto reconcile any card payments that you receive, and any payments that you receive into your bank or any other way, then you can manually add the payment there. The app will send automatic non-payment reminders for any outstanding invoices every week until the invoice is paid, but you are also able to just click this and that would manually send them a reminder as well, just to give them that nice nudge and just that little bit of, removal. It feels just a bit less awkward for everybody. You can export all of your data onto a spreadsheet, so you can log on to the website, equigate.com, where you can log in with your app login details, export all of your invoicing data, and you could pass that on to your accountant. We do have an invoicing update coming, I'm going to say early next year. It was supposed to be by the end of the year, but we have had a little bit of a delay, which will allow it to sync with some of the major accounting packages as well, without you having to export it onto an Excel spreadsheet. Oh, sorry, hold on. Oh, okay. Sorry, just got a thing on there. So the major one obviously is centralizing the messages. And I found this to be immensely helpful, especially if you are a sole entrepreneur, a one person trying to do everything. If you can find a way to centralize your messages so that your clients just message you in one place, you can just be so much more productive with what little time that you actually do have when you haven't got either a steering wheel, a horse, a saddle, or, food in your hands. When you've actually got a little bit of time to be investing in some admin, you can be immensely productive if everyone's messaging you all in one place. So when you add your clients, there are two options, which I'll show you in a second. Your clients can either use the app, which is completely free for them, and they connect to you over the app. They can then message you in the app. They can receive everything in the app, or you could manually set them up to receive as a guest client, in which case they would receive everything by email. Unfortunately, guest clients you wouldn't be able to message because you wouldn't be able to message them on an app that they don't have. But the messaging is really simple, self-explanatory messaging, text, video, audio, all of the rest of it. Now, this is the form builder that we've just created. And so under your toolkit here, you are able to build forms. So if you have an onboarding form that you would like your clients to fill in, then you can build one, and you can also automate when that gets sent. So you could build an onboarding form that you could automate sent to every new client when they connect with you, or you could automate a form that gets sent automatically when a new appointment is created or when a new appointment is completed. So just a couple of things that really help there. And these can either get sent to your clients in the app, and which is super easy for them to fill in. It fills in exactly the same way, just text boxes like they'd be filling in the rest of the app, like any app. Even signatures, I'll show you this in a second, really simple and easy to fill in and return. And again, that would get filed under their profile. Or if you needed to send it externally to somebody, for instance, a vet, you just pop in the vet's email, and again, that would get sent to them and come back when it's filled in. We do also have the resource library, less relevant for you guys, but I'll just touch on it. This is where you can put any exercise videos, any videos that you might think your clients might find helpful. Correct saddle foot placement. I don't know, how to check that you haven't overgirthed, something that you might think that would add value to your clients. You could pop in there and then title and just really easily attach that into your report sending, things like that. I think an awful lot of the horse owning population are more of the grassroots, and the more we can do to help the grassroots to feel empowered and to feel actually, like they have clear and easy advice to follow, the better. And for your visual learners, this can be really, really helpful. I certainly have found since because I am still an osteopath 3 days a week in practice. And when I first started using Equigate and sending the reports, the number of clients that would look at me and go, "Oh my God, Jen, this is brilliant because I need to see a picture." It doesn't matter how many times you'd tell me stuff about my horse, but it would just literally, by the time you've left, I've forgotten it all. So just as a way of helping your clients, this can be really, really handy as well. In your documents section, this is really great for terms and conditions, booking policy, cancellation policy, and you can just pop all of that up there and your clients would be able to view that from your profile within the app. So you're going to see just looping on the screen here. We have also developed, we call it the Big Saddle Fit solution. This is essentially an enormous Android tablet that we've had developed that offers you an A3 screen on which you can then template digitally to scale. Now, all of the functions in the app, which is what I'm going to show you in a second on a bit of a demo call, and a demo call, a screen share demo, and I can whip the tablet out and we could maybe move on to a phone and I could maybe show you that. But essentially, you get a lot of information from this. You're going to see when I give you the demo, all that you're seeing on that tablet is the app, but just massive. And it just facilitates you to have that A3 screen there. So before I just go ahead and give you a bit of a demo with the phone, can I ask if there are any questions quickly?
So guys, there is a chat box available to you, but feel free just to unmute. And if you want to ask anything, just fire away. It's all quiet so far.
Hi, it's Cami.
Hi, Cami.
So I'm in the car, so apologies if it's noisy. I think you answered the question, but you said that the client doesn't necessarily have to use the app.
Correct.
Because I know I've signed up for it, but I haven't used it a lot at all. And it's just me sitting down and trying to figure out everything in it. But I send it to one customer and then got nothing back. So I think, some people aren't very comfortable, are they, with apps and phones and things, but most people are quite happy with an email. So
yeah, it's entirely up to you and how you want your business to be constructed. I get it. Our business is our baby, and every single one of our businesses is slightly different. So a lot of the features that we built in have been built to let me see if I can just get that looping while I'm on here. Built it to be as flexible as possible. So you can use it as all of the features and it will work like a PA for you. Or you can just pick and choose the features that you'd use. Now, I have found, certainly with my business, using the app is a necessary part of my booking process. So if any client contacts me anywhere other than Equigate, they get an auto reply that says, thanks for getting in touch. This inbox isn't monitored for inquiries and bookings. Please download Equigate. It's free and message me there. And I think I possibly have, out of 700 clients, maybe 3 that weren't able to do that or didn't want to do that. So I think increasingly from some of the feedback from our other users as well, if you go, oh, would you like to download an app? It's effort and no one wants to put in any more effort than is strictly necessary. So the option for you there to manually set them up as a guest client, you put their name, put their email, they appear in your system, you can make them appointments, you can raise all of the necessary documents to go with an appointment, and it would just go as an email. But I'll show you, there's just quite an easy way to set up auto replies. And like I say, as a funnel to just keep everything in one place, it can be really helpful to encourage your clients to do so. And if you set a client up manually as a guest client initially, and they then did decide to become an app user, as long as they use the same email, both accounts would merge. So any previous notes that you had from them when they were set up as a guest client would then merge into their connected account. Equigate it's completely free for clients, and it's as helpful to them as it is to us. Certainly, when I'm working for clients with lots of horses or on livery yards, the help that they get from being able to flick their phone open and just see when their next appointment is really valuable. And if you wanted to have a look, we do have, I always call it TripAdvisor, and it's not, it's Trustpilot. We have a Trustpilot account, and I'd say the majority of the reviews on there have been from clients. And I think, yeah, but it's entirely up to you, how you run your business. But I certainly have found with mine, utilizing auto replies and just funneling people onto the app, as a safe way to do business as well, because you can make it a very safe environment there. You can automate a terms and conditions form to go to them as soon as they connect to you, or as soon as you make them their first appointment. And it's just really easy to keep track. And I have to say, some of my clients that are really, I was like, they're never going to go for it. I use it and find it valuable. You know, I have one lady, she had, she suffered a stroke earlier on in life, and sometimes I can tell that she struggles if I talk too quick. Because I'm giving her all of the advice about her horse, and I helped her to get set up. And the feedback from her, she's like, "This is so good. This is so helpful because it just really helps me. I have a visual representation of when my next appointment is. I can see where my report was from last time, and it's really easy to keep track of. So, but it's entirely up to you how you decide to do it. So if I just pull this down and send up a screen. Okay. Then do I do this? Yeah.
Tech support.
Yeah, I've got my husband crouched down by the side of the computer here, helping me get this set up. I'm not joking when I say I really don't know anything about computers, and this needed to be easy enough for me to pick up. Can you guys all see that screen?
Yeah, so we can see your phone share.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, amazing. Now I just don't have a cursor, so I'll tell you where I'm clicking, just to help you to kind of understand. The first thing you would want to do once you've downloaded the app is to click the settings cog in the top right, click account details at the top, and the circle at the top there, you just tap that, and that's where you, I'm just going to say don't allow, that's where you would add your logo. This is where you can add a brief bio about yourself, any information that you'd want your clients to be able to see about you. Where we have a clients list, our clients have a practitioners list. So perhaps the areas that you cover, any information about you and the services that you provide. And for those of you that offer more than one service, you can select different profiles here. You can have as many of these as you'd want. And if anyone did want anything that isn't on the list, then do pop us a message and we can add that one in there. And then you just click save, and that would get your account essentially set up. Excuse me. First thing you want to do then is to click clients. And in the top right, it says add client. This is where you could manually input everybody, and you could put their names, put their emails. If you only wanted your clients set up as guest users, we do also offer a free transfer service. So if you have a CRM, so a clients list, their names, their emails, their phone numbers, you can pop them over to us, and we would fill your clients list with your clients' names, but they would all be set up as a guest. Now, once you've created them as a guest, they get an email to say, hi, welcome to Equigate. Your practitioner, Lisa, has started using Equigate for her appointments. Did you know you get access to a free app with instructions for how they could then set up if they wanted to? Now, the other option is to get your clients to connect with you over Equigate. So you need to send them a version of this message. So like I say, my auto replies, the message that I send to everybody says, thanks for your inquiry. This inbox isn't monitored for inquiries and bookings. Please download Equigate, it's free. Here's the link for it. And you can either click copy, which would then allow you to paste it into whatever other messaging your platform you're using. You could click just send, and that would give you a pop-up of how you would then send that on. Or if you're stood with your client at the time, you can also click my QR code and you could show them this QR code. Now, you could have this on your website, you could have this on your social media. For anyone who doesn't know, if you had sent a screenshot of this to your clients, they can also connect that way. But for anyone like me who was always confused when I got sent a QR code, because I didn't understand how I could scan a QR code with the phone that it was on. If you just hold your finger on the QR code when it's on your screen as a photo, it will again work and open the link there for you. So you've got a couple of different options. Once your clients are connected to you, they appear in your clients list here. It's quite easy to see who is a guest client and who is a connected client. When I say connected, that's someone who's an app user, whereas a guest client is someone you've manually put in with their name and their email. I'm just going to come down here to James Black. If you click on profile, it's quite easy to see an overview here. Any animals your client has added, any invoices you've had from them before, things like that, whether they've got a next upcoming appointment. Another really beneficial thing for your clients to become app users is they have a documents tab on their home screen. Now, this allows them to upload anything that you might need to see before their appointment with you. So X-rays, vet discharge letter, previous physio report, previous saddle fit templates even. They could pop anything up in here, which you would then be able to access. It works like a bit of a portal. So that's another really, really handy one. As well as that, when your clients become app users, they create their own profile and they create their animal profile. So just as a way of really speeding up how quickly you can get started, that is a really handy option. And I wouldn't be put off by, suggesting that your clients do use the app, because increasingly we use an app for everything. Now, from your clients, in your clients list, you can click message for the ones that are app users. So it's important to say it's a practitioner-led diary. I understand that as mobile practitioners, having a publicly visible booking system is pretty nonsensical, because you'd end up hundreds of miles apart on the same day. So it's a closed diary system. It mirrors the system now where clients get in touch with you, ask for your availability, you look at your diary, offer them your availability, and then you can book them into the diary. If they want to cancel their appointment, they message you to cancel. They can't just cancel their appointments without asking you. Well, they can't. It has to be you to cancel the appointment. So once you've been messaging them and you've agreed your day, agreed your time, you can click create appointment, and you can open your diary to see when you do have availability. Select what time. I'm going to say it's at 8:30 tonight. You can also select appointment length if you'd like to. I'm going to say this is an hour-long appointment, but if you don't like dictating the duration of your appointment, you can just click NA, but I'll leave that as an hour. You can see the client's name has pulled through. Any previous addresses that you've been to this client will appear in this drop-down box. And if you're in the right place at the right time, you can also click the pin that says my location, and that would drop a pin for wherever you are. Say how many animals you're there to see, and you can just select that from there. And if your clients have added their animal details, then you can add them from this list here. You are able to add the animal details if you'd wanted to at this point. You can click add patient, and this is the animal input screen that your clients would see as well. I find that sole animal owners, so one client who owns one horse, they really go to town on this. They put a photo at the top, they put all of their information and all of the rest of it. Clients who are slightly less, involved, maybe just put the name and say that it's a horse and click save. They're the only fields that are absolutely necessary. Oh, have we already had a Toby? Got two Tobys now. The notes box, this is visible to both of you. Just remember that. We put that there for, I'll usually put in there, time TBC, or please make sure your horse is relatively clean and dry, or I'll message you when I'm on the way, anything like that you would want to be relevant. There is also a private notes box here at the bottom, which is visible to only you. Watch out, the horse is a kicker. don't use the toilet here because there's never any loo roll, things like that. And then you just click Save Appointment. That then goes to the app on your client's phone if they're an app user, or it goes as an email if they aren't. And then if we just click on Calendar, we'll be able to see that coming up in the next upcoming appointment here. Now, if you click on week, we have also got a week to view calendar. I mean, it would help if I picked a good day, really. Hold on. Where's a good day with a lot in? Oh, 14. Blimey, that was a busy day. So it's much easier for you to be able to see what availability that you do have. Oops, what availability you do have there. It does also sync with external calendars. So any yellow, let me see if I can find one with is this actually synced, Don, in this account? No, this one isn't synced. It's a test account, but if you did sync it with your Google Cal, you would also be able to see any Google entries in as yellow. Now, once you've booked people into your diary, they appear along the top here. So as you work through your day, the app just lines up your next person's appointment along the top. And from this screen, you can click Navigate. That would open the Google Maps to open the sat nav to where you're going. You can call them from this screen, message from this screen. So again, you're avoiding that wasting time, having to pull over, scrabble around to try and find the page in your diary where you scribbled the person's phone number, or tried to find where you've saved them in your phone. If anyone's a bit like me, I mix up 6s and 9s and Bs and Ds. So I'd be forever writing people's postcodes wrong, or saving their phone number wrong, or their name wrong, and just trying to keep track of where their names were again, it's just wasted time. So it's quite easy to be able to call them from here. If you need to make any amendments to the appointment, so you need to change it for any reason, then you can just click amend, and the client would then receive a notification, and the app would update in their phone, or they would receive an email with any updates. But we're just going to start this appointment here. And we've got a horse called Bob attached to this one. And you'll see that you're able to make appointment notes and a client report. These are two separate documents. If we start with appointment notes, and as you are all saddle fitters, we will click saddle fitter at the top and click create record. Now, any previous appointment notes you can see by clicking history at the top, and this would open any previous notes that you've been to for that client and that horse. All of these boxes, so you can change the box headings. I can show you how to do that in a second under the My Toolkit. You can have these box headings reading exactly as you'd like, and all of these boxes you can type into. You can click the microphone and record a voice note if you'd wanted to record a voice note. What can really save time, especially for your dynamic assessment, if you see in the very bottom right of my screen, there's a little microphone. If you click that, you can talk at your phone and it writes what you say. So just as a way of really speeding up your record keeping at your appointment, that can be incredible for just helping you get down. You can be watching the horse moving or being ridden, and you can just read in any of your findings that you've got there. Also, you could click the video on any of these, and you can record a video or upload one from your camera roll. The resources, that's the resource library. So we do have a recommendations box. If you decided that there was a video that you perhaps think your clients might find helpful, you could maybe pop that into your resource library so that you can add that into your report as well. And click on the photos to be uploading photos. Now, if I click on the plus by the diagrams, this is the interesting bit for you guys. We give you all of these anatomy diagrams as standard. You've got them in colour, you've also got them in black and white, and you've got them, the old-fashioned ones at the bottom here. And all of these are completely dingbat proof to mark up. So you can literally just zoom in, and all I'm doing here is I'm just writing on it with my hand. So if you've got a concern over some hair wear or some pain, you can very clearly mark up any concerns that you had, and advise the client to share this with their body worker or their vet, so that you're not then reliant upon the client to firstly actually take in everything that you've said. Secondly, to then be able to remember it all. And then thirdly, to be able to actually repeat it accurately to somebody else important. I myself find that, I'll be working on a horse, and what I say to the client and what they hear are two entirely different things. And and this can happen almost instantly. I'll perhaps say, yes, look, we do have some SI pain. The horse has got some suspensory pain on the front. Let's have the horse reshod, do some exercises, and I'm going to check in with you. And the client's friend will come to the stable door and go, so how's your horse? And the client would say, oh, well, she thinks he's got kissing spine and says it's the farrier's fault he's lame. And this, especially when you are in the infancy of your business, in the infancy of your practice, leaving the door open for misquotes like this can be so detrimental to you and your business and your reputation that you've worked so hard to get. So just leaving really easy record keeping like this to keep clarity of communication between all of the people in that animal's MDT is absolutely invaluable. Now, the document scanner, I'm just going to click open here. You can choose if you had a document that you wanted to attach from your phone or your tablet, then you could attach that there. I'm just going to get this on the screen. You could also pick up a scan. So we've got a scanner here, and that will just lift up anything that you'd wanted to scan, and we can then attach that onto the report there. So if you were still on paper templates, or even a laminated one, then that's a really great, quick and easy way to get that uploaded into here. Now, we can just click save on that. There is an auto save built in. The save button doesn't actually do anything. It just makes everyone feel more comfortable. So we've left that one in. Now you can see there that we've created some appointment notes. The appointment notes is a completely private document. No one else will ever see that unless you open it, go to the trouble of scrolling to the bottom and turning it into a PDF and then manually sending it to someone. I understand that our appointment notes are often incredibly technical. They're full of so much information that's valuable for us, but it's not necessarily a document you would want to share with your clients. Mine are always full of loads of spelling mistakes, massively abbreviated. It makes sense to me, but to no one else. So that's why we've made that completely private. Now, if you would like to leave a client report, you can click on client report. Oh, it's just taking a second. And you are able to import your appointment notes. So we can bring in the appointment notes that we've just created there, and you can remove any of the boxes that you don't want to appear in the client report by unticking them. You can also edit the content of the boxes to make it a little more understandable. So just as a way of, making sure that the client feels talked to, not talked at, you can maybe make sure that the report that you leave them is in very accessible language for them. Or if you did have a serious concern about some discomfort anywhere, you can leave a really clear recommendation in here. When I ask my clients, when I see a horse with back pain, I'll say, is the saddle fit up to date? Yes. When did the saddle fitter see the horse? Oh, I don't know. And then they'll check and it was about 18 months ago. Right, what did the saddle fitter say? Oh, well, she said it was fine. And then I'll check in with the saddle fitter because I like to have a good working relationship with the local saddle fitters, with permission, of course, because I will ask, can I have written permission to contact your saddle fitter and just check in with them and, explain my concerns. And another motivator for building this whole system was the number of times I'd check in with a saddle fitter and they'd say, yeah, Jen, I saw the horse 18 months ago, advised that they needed a new saddle. They didn't have the budget for a new saddle, so advised a temporary fix and to call me if there was any more problem. So I think just having, it's all time and date stamped, have it marked down very clearly and easy to understand. The client was advised that they needed a new saddle, but because the budget didn't allow, I've proposed this as an intermediary, fix. Little things like this can be really, really helpful. So that then you can look at that as a client report. This is a separate document. It's a copy of yours that we've just edited slightly, made it a bit more accessible. Now, if I just click download report as PDF, this is what it would look like when it gets sent to any non-app using clients. Just on a little bit of a go slow here. So when it goes as an email, it would go as a PDF, which it's going to do in a minute. It can just take a second. No. My speakers were on the call here. There we go. So it would obviously pull through your logo on the top, and you can see here we've removed a couple of the fields, so not all of them are present. It's worth saying as well, any media that you attach, any videos, any audio notes, anything like that, they are clickable links. So your clients that do receive them as emails don't miss out on anything. Same with the documents as well. That would be a clickable link that you could then, they would then be able to open. So for sending on templates to saddle makers, that can be really handy as well. I'm not actually going to click send because I want to show you something else in a second. Now, at the end of our appointment, we've raised some appointment notes. That was the private, very complicated document. We've made a client report, a slightly more accessible, simplified document. It's a draft at the moment because we haven't clicked send. Now, you could suggest to the client, do you want to make your next appointment straight away? So, if they want to make their next 6-month routine appointment, then you could click that. If you just wanted to send them a reminder, you can schedule them to get a 6-month reminder. So in 6 months' time, they would get a notification and an email to say that it's been 6 months since they've seen you and to make their next appointment with you. You can also set yourself a follow-up task. Now, I do this with virtually every client that I see. If I treated your horse today, at the end of our appointment, I would say to you, I'm going to give you a message in 2 weeks and just see how you're getting on. Now, I found as a way of troubleshooting problems before they're actually problems, before somebody, with unrealistic expectations perhaps feels disgruntled enough to stand in the tack room and tell everyone they think you're rubbish. You can check in with them and, how's it going? How's the canter? Are you feeling that the saddle's sitting a bit better? And just to really nurture that client relationship, as well as to check in on whether or not the changes and the advice that you've given have really, taken root, and even, none of us are perfect. If it hasn't helped in the way that the client had hoped, at least it opens the door for some more dialogue to maybe go, okay, I can pop back and let's have a look and see about a different girth or a different pad or something. So I'll show you how that looks in a second. Now, if you don't want to use our invoicing, you can just click finish appointment and that shuts the appointment off and files all of your notes. But if you did want to raise an invoice, you can click finish appointment and create an invoice at the bottom here. Now, our invoicing is currently basic. It's bottom line invoicing. We created Equigate originally for the one-man bands who are doing everything on their own, and in the UK the majority of us aren't VAT registered, so this is on our list. We do have an invoicing update, as I mentioned, coming imminently, that will allow you to add VAT, that will allow you to add, your specific tax levels that you need, as well as being able to run a bit of an inventory and to be able to itemize your invoices. But currently it's basic, it's bottom line. So if you have a bill, you say how much the bill is and if they've paid you, how they've paid you. If they pay by card, then it would auto reconcile anyway. And then you just click save and send invoice. That goes to the app on your client's phone if they're an app user, or it goes as an email if they're not. I'm like a crack record with this. Now, if we just click on the calendar, in 2 weeks' time, we have a blue number 1 here, and that's the follow-up task that I set for myself. So some days, I'll have 8 or 9 people to be following up with, and just as a way of checking in, hi, how is your horse getting on? And then you mark it as complete, as a way of just adding that extra value, as standing out as somebody who has, that bit more investment in how your clients are doing after their appointment. This is a really, really great tool, and it can, really set you apart from other practitioners in the area. Now, if we just look in records, any records that you created would appear there. And you can see at the top here, the client report that we made it shows as unsent. So perhaps if you wanted to maybe go away, double check something before clicking send, then you can just come home, check everything is fine and that you're happy with all of the advice that you've given, click send report to client, and then it switches to green. So it's a way of tracking who has and hasn't had their report. That's a really handy one. Now, if you had any while you're here, can you just? You are able to generate records for clients without them being booked into the diary. You can just click add new and you'd select which client it's for, which animal it would be for, and select your report layout, and you can just generate an appointment note that way as well. Now, the one thing I didn't show you, so carried away with my anatomy diagrams, when you are in a saddle fit template, you can select saddle fit, and this is the templating screen. So this, when you open it on a phone, is no use to anyone, but when you open it on our massive tablet, that gives you the A3 screen on which to template. So here you can select different colors, and obviously you could still put the data on the bottom there as well. Now, like I say, on a smaller device, it's more tricky, but on a if you use the big saddle fit solution, that big tablet, then it does open this page on the app with the A3 screen for you there. Now, invoicing, again, the same. I'll just show you how your invoice would look if it got sent to the client as a PDF. I was a bit quicker with this. Again, it would pull your logo through on the top. It's basic invoice layout currently, but that's how that would look. Your clients are able to turn their invoices into PDFs from their home screen, from their app as well, if they needed to there. Card payments, this is where you would set up your Stripe Connect account. Any clients that paid you by card, it would then, the balance would clear into your Stripe Connect account, and then you can pull it out from there into your bank account that you've connected to it. Now, my toolkit here, this is where you add your business documents. Anything you add here is visible from your profile that your clients can see from their practitioner list in the app. Your resource library, this is where you add any videos that you like to prescribe to your to your clients. It's also worth mentioning, if you have your own saddle fit template that you particularly like to work with, you can also pop that in here as a diagram. So if you pop that in there as a diagram when you're in your record keeping, let me just open this one so that you can see. We'll go back into here, we'll click on diagrams, and you can see at the top it says My Diagrams. Anything you add into your resource library as a My Diagram, then you can access from here. So if you had your own saddle fit form, you can pop that in there and you'd be able to mark it up in your record keeping that way. In your toolkit as well, you also have your My Forms. So I'll just show you this one. I think this is a useful one. You can build forms which are really, really quick and easy for your clients to fill in. Again, I absolutely hate it when someone sends me a form to fill in and you can't fill it in, because I don't have enough tech knowledge to know to open it in a certain thing on an iPhone and it might let me put some text on it. It needs to be really simple and really quick. And so this is why another thing that we've built in here. It's really easy, self-explanatory. You can just do tick boxes, drop down boxes. The signature, like anyone can sign that. It's not hard. And it's not difficult either, because, you know, I used to end up to have to print it off and then fill it in with a pen, which I couldn't find one that worked, and then scan it back in and then email it, and I'd have written the email wrong. So it's all just to try and speed that up and make that a bit easier. You've got tick boxes as well. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now, if I just show you on the edit, when you're building your form here, build your form exactly as you want. You can add new fields. This is how you add your fields. You can title your fields. You can optional form automation at the bottom here. So you could build a form and automate that it gets sent to every new client when they connect to you. Send a form when they get an appointment booked. or even when you get an appointment completed. As I mentioned, as a way of actually getting testimonials in and feedback forms, this can be a really nice way to do it, just to, you know, help for your social media, things like that. I know that even though clients are often willing to leave a testimonial, there's effort involved in finding where to do it, and then I think they can feel a bit awkward just writing you a testimonial message, whereas if you automate a form and send it to them, it's much more comfortable and kind of, it feels a bit more natural for them to be able to send that over to you. So that's your form builder. In your report layouts, this is where you customize your report layout. So we've just selected saddle fitter because we're saddle fitters here, and this is where you just have your box headings reading exactly as you'd want them to be. So you can add boxes, remove boxes, anything like that. You can build as many of those as you'd like. The help button on the bottom of the home screen here, if you click that, if you click that, don't do it again. There we go. You can message us from here. So as I mentioned, my name's Jen, and tech support that was helping me a moment ago, that's my husband, Steve. It's our company, and a real pillar of our business is that there are humans, real humans at the end of the phone. If you want to speak to us, you can literally call the number that's on our website and one of us answers the phone. I understand from the needs that I have for my business, I worked incredibly hard to build the best business that I could. And I'd want to know I was supported by somebody that understood that, but also understood somebody who's not particularly techie. And if I was having a problem, I'd want to be able to pick up the phone and speak to a human. And that is a real pillar of our business, that there's always a person at the end of the phone. But if you click on the messages, then you'd be able to message us here, and you just click on the new in the top right there, and you can send us a message. And we don't use bots. There's no auto reply. You know, you can reach us there. If you click on the help here, there is a help center. So if you prefer to recap all of this in your own time, there's tons and tons of really easy to follow videos about how Equigate works. And if you would like a demo, a one-to-one demo with one of us, then you can book one here from the book a free demo, and that just opens a Calendly link, and you can book one for a day at a time that suits. Also relevant for you guys, I imagine, is that we do offer Equigate free for students. I understand, you know, from my own journey, studying's expensive. I entirely self-funded. I understand, you know, financial and time strains, and I really wanted to do something to be able to help the next generation of practitioners. And so we offer Equigate free for students for the duration of your study and for 3 months after graduation, just to really help you get started in a way that's organised. I think some of the most gifted practitioners, whether you are a saddle fitter or a body worker or a farrier or a trimmer, they are so gifted because your brain works slightly differently to others. You know, you spot things that are virtually unseeable. You know, you can feel things that are virtually unfeelable. And sometimes people with those personality traits aren't naturally the most organized. I hold my hand up. If I had had a system like this when I started my business, I would have made so many fewer mistakes. You know, for anyone who hasn't noticed, February and March on years that aren't leap years, they have the same days and dates. So you could agree to be there on Tuesday the 4th, and you're expecting to be there 1 month, and your client's expecting you to be there another month. There's so many mistakes, but using a system like this to just keep you organized, to make sure you've got everything that you need to be able to turn up on the right day, in the right place, at the right time, with the right stuff, and to be able to clearly communicate with your client, you know, especially if they are visual. You know, I've just done a course learning about how people learn, and so many people don't learn by being talked at. They learn by seeing or by doing. And so if you're just standing there talking at your client, you really are leaving the door open for them to not understand, but also then to be misquoted. I'm just going to dip back into the settings cog very briefly. The app settings here, we have made our own notification sounds. They are currently only available on Apple, but this is something that the clients do really seem to like. So it'll clip, clop, or whinny, or snort, which, like I say, the feedback from the clients, and I interview our practitioners on a regular basis, and they hear the same. Oh, the app really made me smile when it snorted at me. You can also change your date and time format if you prefer that a different way. And there is an auto reply that you can set up here as well. Invoice settings, this is where you would set your currency. So if you need anything other than GBP, then you can do that there. Calendar settings, this is where you would sync it with your Google Cal. And there's a bunch of other stuff here. For managing your subscription, which I will talk about now, head to the dashboard, which is here. So head to the dashboard. This is on equigate.com, where you can log in with your app login details. Oh, hold on. Don, I think I need you to come and use your face on this, please. Sorry.
What are you trying to log into?
Dashboard
As a
Pro. Amazing. Okay, so the website, once you're logged in, does just give you, it's there's no functionality in the dashboard, but it's view only. But it gives you a great place where you can manage your subscription. You can see a month to view calendar. This is where you would have a clients list, which is exportable onto you know, a CSV or an Excel sheet. Same with your records, you can export them from here. Invoices you can export from here. And we do also have a practitioner discount section. Now this is, your clients also have a discounts button on their home screen. Another motivator for clients to be using the app, because we leverage the usership to brands to get discounts. Now there are practitioner only discounts at the top here because some of our practitioners didn't want them on the client side one, but they are here as an option. So if you'd wanted to use any of them, and we do also have these are the ones that are visible to the clients, but we should be having some more of them coming soon. Now there's also the Saddlebank. We work with the Saddlebank too. Let me just come back up here and close that. Oh, I need to get back in. But to head to the dashboard, darling, I need to come back. Sorry. Can you just log in, please? Amazing, thanks. So this is where you can manage your subscription. So if you head to subscription, for completely unlimited use of Equigate, it's £40 per month or £400 per year. So you save £80 if you buy the annual subscription. And as I say, that is for completely unlimited use. Essentially, for less than one appointment fee, you could be saving over 8 hours of admin every week. Now, if you are only just getting started, or you're not too busy yet, or you're only working part-time and you don't see, 20 appointments a month, we do also have this pay-as-you-go option at the bottom here. Now this allows you to buy credits as and when you need them. So if you have a busier month, you buy more, and if you have a quieter month, you buy less. And so you get all of the use of the app without the commitment of a subscription. One appointment would use 2 credits. So it's 10 credits for £10 or 20 credits for £20. Once you get to the point where you're doing 20 appointments per month, it's more cost effective to have a look at the monthly subscription. And these are cancel any time, and when you're not locked in for anything at all. So essentially, this is how the app works. If I pull this down, stop mirroring, and come off here. I was just going to see if anyone. Can you all just see me now on the screen?
We can see your desktop at the moment, Jen.
Okay, all right.
But if you go to stop share, it will just show.
Okay, amazing. Brian, just 1 second, just can't find the mouse really. Hold on. Give me a second. Also, it's just gone a bit rogue. There we go. Got it. Stop share. Has it stopped sharing?
Yes, if you press stop share,
Where does it say stop share?
scroll right down to the bottom and it should come up with a little
Yeah.
bar. Yeah.
Okay.
Might be able to stop it from my side.
Cut me off.
Um,
I could just leave that.
okay.
There we
We
go.
can still see
There
you.
we go. There we go. So essentially, that is the app. We created it all to help you all to be just spending a bit more time productively, to be able to stop chasing clients' messages, to massively reduce cancellations, make your record keeping quicker and easier and more streamlined, as well as reducing your paper usage, and to help your clients to make the most of their appointments with you, to help you to keep, safeguarded, and to make it that little bit easier for you to get paid. Now, does anyone have any questions? I feel like
Hey,
I've
guys.
just power talked at you for like a solid hour there.
Guys, feel free. Talking about animals snorting, my dog has decided to come and snort at me. So if anyone can hear that in the background, he always chooses his moments. But guys, if anyone wants to just unmute and ask any questions.
I guess my question is Cami again, was over the tablet.
Yeah.
Because that looked really interesting.
Yeah. So the tablet is a huge Android tablet. We sell it it comes in this carry case, with an external battery and a recharger lead as well. You need to have an annual subscription in order to buy the tablet, but yeah, that's available as well. Essentially, it's just a massive screen that runs the app. All of the function is in the app. A lot of our fitters that use it, they switch between devices. So they'll do most of their record keeping on their phone, and then they just open the tablet for the templating, and then everything syncs back up. It's also worth mentioning Equigate does work offline. So if you have a day's worth of appointments booked in, you could head out to the back of Beyond and be able to get through a day's worth of record keeping, with no signal. Obviously, you can't message offline because, well, no messenger works offline. We are working on improving some of the calendar function whilst you're offline as well.
Can I ask how much the tablet is?
Yes, of course. It's £8.50 plus VAT.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jem, what's the battery life on the tablet?
So,
as in how long does it last in one go?
well, so 8 hours if you were to be running it solid. So like when we're at conferences, we can get a full day out of the battery pack, but most of our fitters say they're getting like a week, 10 days out of it, because you just turn it on, turn it off. It's not like you're running it solidly all day. A lot, and as I say, a lot of the practitioners, they do most of their record keeping on the phone, and they just open the tablet to be able to template.
That's got loads in it then, because I know I've used some tech before in the past, which has just got such a short amount of battery that by the time you've spoken to your customer, you've had it on, they're telling you about their cat, and you go to use it and then it's flat. So I mean, that's brilliant. Are there any more questions, anybody? I mean, you've done such a good job, Jen, of explaining everything. And I'm sure other people agree that there are so many things that resonated with myself, certainly in terms of, I mean, I've driven before an hour in the wrong direction because I got the postcode wrong. And it's so expensive to make those mistakes. And I certainly think, when you're first starting out as a saddle fitter, you kind of want to go above and beyond for every customer, and you're taking calls and messages on WhatsApp and Facebook and text. And you kind of start out that way, but it's quite a dangerous slope, because when you get overrun, it's so hard then to funnel people. So I think it's quite a nice introduction to really funneling your customer comms, with the integration of the app and introducing it as a this is an essential part of my business. So for those of us who are already out you know, because I know with my customers, some of them would be a little bit more reluctant to download an app, and they're kind of old fashioned. But I think transitioning everybody with one rule is so much more beneficial for us as practitioners. And I certainly think if you're just starting out saddle fitting, it just makes sense to hit the floor running with the system. And I agree with you. If this had been around when I first started, I could have saved myself a lot of time, money, effort.
It even happened to me the other day. I had a new client on board. So I will still engage with clients elsewhere, you know, like if it's a brand new client, it's a brand new inquiry, you know, maybe they've called or something, and I, you know, will agree when they want the appointment. I'll say, okay, I use an app for my appointments. Once you're set up, I can get you booked in. And then once they're on there, I'm like, right, thanks for setting up on here. You can add your horse details from the My Stuff button. I'd just done a Gen special. I'd mixed up a B and a D. And so I'd written their postcode wrong, and I'd sent them their appointment over, and they picked me up on it. So they were like, by the way, the postcode's wrong. It's this. And I'm like, brilliant. Thank you so much. Because otherwise that's like 20 minutes, half an hour detour because you've gone to the wrong place. And it's such an easy mistake to make. And I promise you, you know, I needed this system when I was studying. I needed it when I was a new grad. I needed it when my business started getting busy. I needed it when I was completely overrun. I needed it when I was working in 5 different countries. I needed it when I had a 6-month waiting list and I was working at top level sport. I needed it when I was starting a family. I needed it when I was going back to work after just having had a baby. And I've considered every single bit of the journey that we've needed to get to here. And we're committed to improving it as well. So even if you do want a bit more of something, then do just let us know and we can try and get that one integrated for you.
It looks amazing. I will say it looks absolutely amazing. I wish I'd had it at the beginning, like you say, because you get such in a habit of what you do currently, and the whole thing about having, you know, bits of paper and template and trying to pull them out for your next appointment is horrific. To be honest. And now I'm sort of thinking I've just got to put all that information in and just not start again. But
it doesn't even need to be that hard. I did about 6 months worth of my diary in just over an hour.
Yeah.
And I just sent everybody the same message. Before your next appointment, you need this app, it's free. Before your next appointment, you need this app, it's free. Before your next appointment, you need it, it's free. And like I say, 98% of people just did it. A couple of people needed some help along the way, but you literally just sit there and watch. And it's like ting, 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 ting. And what was your name? Sorry.
Cammy.
Cammy.
Yeah.
Cammy, if you're busy, like if your diary's busy, if you know you're struggling to keep on top of everything already, you're not busy because you're rubbish. You're busy because you're good. And when you're good, if people need an app to get you, they're going to get the app to get you because they want you.
Yeah.
And I think it is just switching the mindset. You know, we've all done it. I've been beholden to my business, utterly beholden to it. And, you know, like you said, Lisa, you're trying to do everything, you're being everything to everyone, and you're trying really, really, really hard. But you can let it be easy. And that doesn't take any of the credit away from you. You can run a business that's easy to run and enjoy it. That's allowed. And it doesn't need to be a struggle. You can choose to make it as easy as you want it to be, and just, you know, advise your clients to be using the app, and that's the best way to get you. Another one that another person uses is they say for a priority response, message me on Equigate.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But there's a couple of different ways that you can do it, but like I say, I just say that the other inboxes aren't monitored.
Hi, it's Fiona. I've actually just used it as a client.
Oh, yay!
For the first time. So I booked a bridal fitter and she sent that over to me. So I had heard about Equigate, but I obviously didn't know much about it. And it's really easy. Really easy to use.
Yes. And I haven't planted Fiona in there either.
Fiona, you're studying with us, is that right?
I am, yeah. I'm there on Monday.
So you'll be in a perfect position to integrate this straight away then into your business.
Yeah, well, I was just wondering whether I could use it for case studies, or I'm not very good with technology.
I think it would actually be really interesting to see, because you could effectively you could create a form for your case study and submit them as PDFs. We'd be more than happy to review them that way.
yeah, it's whether I can actually do it. That was it.
Fiona, if you've managed to create the client account, creating a practitioner account's no more difficult. And
Okay.
it's really easy. Something that can be helpful to do is when you create your practitioner account, is if there's a friend or a family member in the house,
Yeah.
send them the invite to connect to you as a client. So
Okay.
you'll be able to see how it looks as a client on their phone and how it looks on your phone, and you can make a bunch of appointments, you could make a bunch of records, faff around with it, send some forms over, and you can't get it wrong. You cannot break it. You can't get it wrong. The data won't go anywhere.
Oh, good.
And if you want any help at all, we're on the end of the help message. And if you want your account wiping, you can just wipe all of the reports that you've made as test ones. There is also automatically in your account, it's called the practice client. It says try me. That's there for you to test with. Make some appointments, make some appointment notes, play around with your report layouts, all of that in there just to help you get started.
Okay, fabulous.
Yeah.
You will just need to use a different email. So if you have a client account, you need to use a different email for your practitioner account.
Right, okay. Yeah.
But you can message us if you want any of them switching.
Yeah, I've got 2 accounts anyway, so I can use one for each. Fabulous.
Brilliant. But do message us. So for anyone listening and also re-listening, we do offer Equigate free for students, but for us to know who you are and where you're from, can you please go to the help button, pop us a message with IASF and your graduation date, please. So that will mean that or expected graduation, even a rough guess. We'll ask you for just some proof that you are an IASF student, and also then to extend your trial. Now, for anyone who isn't a student, who is already practicing, who's re-listening to this, do pop us a message on there as well with the IASF, and we can offer you an extended free trial as well.
Jen, I did have that. You did ages ago. I had a 3-month free trial and I didn't use it, unfortunately, because I just didn't get round to it. So I apologise, but I think I will definitely set something up now and
so we
sort myself out.
We call it a fluid trial, and the reason I call it fluid is because I understand that it's the people who are the most busy that are going to benefit from the most from the features that are in it. But I get it, life gets in the way and you end up too busy to learn the thing that's going to save you the time.
Yeah.
And so if you, again, pop us a message, if you have a free trial, you don't use it, you want another go, pop us a message from the help button and we just reset your trial for you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. But you will need to update your app. So the app updates regularly. If you haven't had it for ages, just delete it off, reinstall it, and pick up from there.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Okay, guys. Can I answer any more questions for you?
No, pretty quiet. You've been incredibly informative, Jen, giving us a really good understanding of the app. And I think what what appeals to me the most is that you're in the same position that we've been in. You've developed the app just to suit your lifestyle and your work and the needs that are. And I think it's one of those things, tech developers don't always understand. Well, they don't understand horses, let alone us as horse people. Or equine professionals. So, really informative. So, thank you ever so much for your time. We will, so obviously anyone who's watching this back, we will also, if you want to have access to any of the links, codes, anything like that, just pop us an email at admin@saddle-academy.com, because we'll send out an automated email for all of our listeners at the moment. But obviously if you're watching the recording, you won't get that. So just let us know if you want anything. And thank you ever so much, Jen. It's been a pleasure having you. And thank you everybody for coming and listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll sign off then. Have a lovely evening, everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye. Bye.
Bye.